exactly what have we been eating on our healthy eating plan over the past 3 weeks.
You're watching the Beer Pantry Show.
Everything. Now keep in mind guys, I don't drink alcohol, so I never have to factor the calories of alcohol into any eating plan that I do. I don't drink coffee, I don't drink tea, I very seldom drink juices. So those parts are covered for me, all right? So let's get into breakfast. I usually have an omelet like this. This is 1 egg, and I put vegetables that I have in the fridge at the time, be it onion, red, yellow, orange peppers, tomato, jalapenos, and definitely mushrooms. I try to buy mushroom all the time, and I have to go through it pretty quickly because I don't want it to go bad, and I hear mushrooms are great for you. They're good for you. So I put that in my medley. Sometimes I eat the egg by itself like this, or I eat it with a slice of bread and a fruit. And then my next breakfast that I like is some type of bread with peanut butter, and I only do 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, and I am measuring it out, right? So I do the white bread that I make from scratch or the baguettes. I have sat down and figured out the calories and the stuff that I make. This is why I can't do Weight Watchers and all those type of things, because they want you to add up those points, but those points all link to things that you buy in the store, right? So, you gone? How long you going for? 2 hours? Couple of hours?
Maybe.
Okay, have fun, boo. Joe's leaving to go to the gym because they're going to shut the gym down this coming Friday. Cora. They're going to shut the gym down this coming Friday for 1 month's worth of repairs. So he goes, I gotta go. So yeah, I love the bread with peanut butter in the morning. I like it toasted. If we're doing flour tortillas, I've figured out a way to make my Belizean flour tortilla less calories. No, I've not changed the ingredients. I've just changed the serving size. So normally I do 1 cup of flour, and that gives me 3 of the dough balls. Well, one of those dough balls is 230 something calories. I can't have that for breakfast. That's too much calories. Plus the peanut butter, that's 95 calories. Plus the fruit. Oh no, it's not gonna leave me enough for dinner, right? So this is what I've done. I weigh the dough, I cut it into 3 equal pieces. I take 1/3 and I cut that into 2 equal pieces. Joe makes a whole one for himself, I make a whole one for me. Now, we had the ability to use 1 dough ball and make the 1 tortilla and then just cut it in half, but that does something to my mental. I can't cope with that. I don't want no half or nothing. I want the whole, okay? So that's why I cut the dough and we bake the tortilla whole. Plus Joe likes his tortilla less crispy than I like mine, so it wasn't gonna work out to just make the 1 tortilla and cut it in half. But I like these small ones better right here. So if I'm not doing the tortilla, I'm doing my white bread or I'm doing baguettes. I did sit down and figure out the math for the baguettes. You know, I make 2 long loaves and I cut it into what I thought were serving size, like what I used to serve myself, and then figured out if that was too much calories, then I cut them smaller, or just if I cut the top and the bottom, I just eat 1 piece, the top or the bottom, okay? So you can, you know what I'm trying to do, guys? I want to be able to do this for the rest of my life. I mean, not stay on 1,200 calories for the rest of my life, because then I'm going to waste away. When I'm done meeting my goal, I'm going to have to eat around 1,400 to 1,500 calories a day to not regain my weight, right? So what I want to do is eat all the things that I normally enjoy, but learn how to eat it in a smaller amount and still make it enjoyable. So like when I had guests come over to the house in the middle of this 3-week period, I made a cheesecake, like a little baby cheesecake, and I literally cut a sliver and I weighed it. It was 2 ounces, and then I went to Google to ask what's the calories on that, right? So I figured out the calories for a lot of stuff, but let's continue with what else another thing that I would eat is 1/2 cup of my Cascadian Farms cereal, which is a lot of calories, 120 calories for 1/2 cup, and 1/2 cup of lactose-free milk, which is 65 calories, and then the fruit. I like that from time to time. It's a really refreshing breakfast from time to time, but I do want to find money to buy Magic Spoon in the future and see how that tastes, because that's very, very high in protein, all right? So let's move on to the lunch. We've been doing a lot of this type of medley for lunch. Anything that has to do with like stir fry, right? We bought a big bag of stir fry from Costco, and we'll do like chicken breasts, and I use avocado oil, like 1 tablespoon. And usually I'll do like 1 big pot for me and Joe. So I'll cut 1 big breast. That's a breast is like 6 ounces, so 3 ounces each. I always try to put mushroom in everything, guys, because I just heard that mushroom is so good for us, right? So I do a lot of this. Sometimes I'll do it in 2 separate pots, only because I feel like I'm not getting enough of the grain. Like you see how I had the rice measured out right here, the white rice? It's a third cup of white rice each is a serving. And when I throw both those cups into the pot and we start serving the dish, sometimes I feel like I'm not getting any type of grain, no type of rice. And I need the grain so that I can stay regular at the bathroom. All right, so if I'm not doing the chicken with the stir fry, then I certainly will try other meats with the stir fry, right? So I'll try, this is chicken again. So shrimp, chicken, beef, or shrimp will go good. The only thing is when you're going to do the stir fry with shrimp, you're going to add the shrimp in last. When you're doing it with chicken or beef, you add the beef in, you know, after you add the onion and stuff, you add the beef in so that can have a little bit longer time to cook. The shrimp, you don't want to cook that too long. As soon as that gets pink, it's over, right? So we're doing a lot of that for lunch with a serving of fruit. My fruit has always been watermelon or grapes. I would want to diversify into more groups, but we can only afford what we can afford. So Joe gets apples and pineapple for himself, although he'll dip into my, oh, I'll get grapefruit when they have grapefruit. He'll dip into my grapefruit, and he'll dip into my, matter of fact, he's dipping into all my fruits. I don't touch his fruits. I don't mess with his pineapples and his apple. I can't eat the apple because it gives me really bad gas pain. I can't eat bananas because it gives me really bad gas pain. And if I could tolerate cabbage, I would have thrown cabbage into this stir fry. Now, as far as dinner is concerned, we've been doing a lot of steaks, but it's literally like 3 ounces. I shouldn't say a lot of, because we do chicken. It's either chicken breast or the steak. And we measure out the 3 ounces, and we either like, Joe will stew down the beef a little bit. Sometimes he'll put potato, and I like those little bitty potatoes. 5 of them is a serving for 70 calories. And we'll eat that, or we'll do rotisserie. He's been doing quite a bit of rotisserie. He did one today. Let me show you how he did it. He cleaned up the chicken, right, with the distilled white vinegar and the water and stuff, pulled out all the dry blood out of the back, and then he seasoned it up with his seasoned mix that he has here. And this is just salt, black pepper, cayenne, onion powder, garlic powder that he has in this. And he rubbed it all over. He threw some on the inside of the bird. He went underneath the skin. Then he used the string, and he's not using any kind of nylon string. Okay, this is that, what do you call it, like cotton thread or whatever. And he ties up that chicken really well, and then he pushes the spigot things through, and then he puts it in. We have a toaster oven. I think this is what, Fabaware? We have a toaster oven that we use to do the rotisserie. I don't know how else to do it, right? So then he lets it go for a couple of hours, and then voila. And they say it's really good because all the fat drains down below, and then we cook with the fat for Cora, for the dog, right? So today with the rotisserie chicken, we're going to do white rice and split peas. Now, it's only a 1/3 serving of carb that you can have in the meal. But what I'm going to do is like 2 tablespoons of the white rice and 2 tablespoons of the split peas. And that will come up to a 1/3 cup, thereabouts. And then my garden salad and the chicken. And I eat somewhere between 7 and 9 in the morning for breakfast. I definitely eat at noon for lunch. There's been times when I've eaten later for lunch, but I definitely go back and eat my dinner at 4. And the reason why I want more calories to be left in the evening, so I try to eat a 300 calorie breakfast. Well, not more than a 300 calorie breakfast. Sometimes my breakfast is like 232 calories. Sometimes it's 270 something. So a little bit on the 300, the same amount for lunch. Because after dinner, I need a treat. So usually the treat is some ice cream store-bought or homemade, or some crackers and peanut butter, or maybe some powder bun. So I take the dry mix. Instead of making 4 big ones, I make 8 small ones, and then I still take one of those 8 and cut it into half. So a big one is 270, and then half is like 134, something like that, 135. And then to cut it again in half, you get less calories. So I've been making it work, guys. So right now, I want to show you my chicken. Yes, I have the camera all the way over there on that table. So I'm going to serve a little bit of white rice, 2 tablespoons of white rice, 2 tablespoons of split peas, some of this meat, and a garden salad for my dinner today. And then I probably will have some ice cream afterwards. Well, I'll have a fruit, and then I'll have some ice cream afterwards. So it's working. Let me put this back before it starts melting. This is the Beth Entry Show. Today I figured out how much calories is in 1 slice of Belizean Creole bun, so I'm eating a slice of that today with egg over easy.